Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. How's everybody doing out there? We have a good weekend? I'm exhausted. Mom and Dad had date night last night. And Daddy went a little too hard in the paint. So little hair of the dog helped get us through it. Drinking Bell's. No, yeah. It is just a really nice beer. So it says here on the can. Easy drinking golden ale. If you've never had it, it's really good. It's good golf beer. It's like it's got stuff all over the can. I don't know if you can see it on there. Oh, excuse me. Very, very Midwest beer. That's how I'm classifying it. So, cheers. Oh, man. So, we've got a few things to go over tonight. Kind of going off the cuff tonight. Gonna basically just go over all the games, give a little perspective, get you guys caught up on any of the preseason stuff that you may have missed as you were living your life. Let's see. We got a game going on right now on the NFL Network. Chargers and Niners happening right now. Looks like the Chargers just scored a touchdown. Nobody threw the ball to nobody, and it's a 3-yard touchdown. So, yeah, Chargers. Oh, looks like the Niners got a safety. I want to see that. Let's see here. How'd that happen? Yeah, Jordan Willis getting a sack, 7-yard loss for a safety. All right, not bad. Good for Jordan Willis. Alrighty. Other game that happened today, again, Chargers currently up 7-2 on the Niners. The Browns beat the Giants, the New York Football Giants, earlier today, 17-3. And Michigan State quarterback, I think it's Brian Lewerke. Let me see. Yeah, Brian Lewerke just signed with the Giants, so good for him. Michigan State fans, you loved him, you hated him. You hated that you loved him, you loved that you hated him. But Brian Lewerke getting some NFL time. I think he just signed this week. Pretty good stat line, other than the one interception he did throw. 11-19, 108 yards and a touchdown for the Michigan State's Spartan, now New York Giant. What else we got? Give you some stats on the Browns for you miserable a-holes out there that are Browns fans and watch my show. Looks like Baker didn't start. Case Keenum, though, 9-12, 74 yards, pick and a touch. Another thing I've been noticing a lot, even in week 2, a lot of the starters aren't playing. Tom Brady didn't play. Josh Allen didn't play. Tannehill didn't play. Jared Goff didn't play. Obviously, Joe Burrow didn't play. A lot of the starters aren't getting a lot of preseason work, which is not usual. That's not normal. So I'm not sure why the change, other than people are just, want to stay healthy. There's been a lot of injuries already just in the last couple of weeks. Excuse me. One of which, Joseph Asai, I don't know if you guys saw this, but we posted on the page earlier today. Joseph Asai, it appears that he's going to need meniscus surgery, or surgery on his meniscus, that will likely end his season. Now that was just one report. I was seeing other reports out there that it potentially isn't as bad as initially thought. I'm trying to search and get you guys an update. Yeah, 52 minutes ago it was reported via the Cincinnati Enquirer that Joseph Asai will miss the 2021 season, which is absolutely bullshit. Just sucks. And it wasn't even the wrist. It was his knee. So apparently the knee had also happened during the Tampa game, preseason week 1. And he was like, hey, my knee's kind of bothering me too, basically, when they were looking at his wrist. Carl Lawson, another injury that went down earlier this week, ruptured his Achilles. He will miss the 2021 season. Love Carl Lawson. Absolutely sucks. I feel so bad for him. It's the worst. A.J. McCarron. Looks like if you've touched the Bengals organization in the last 5 years, 6 years, however long it's been since McCarron was on the team, then you're going to be fucked for this year. I mean, I guess he is only 20 years old, so he's going to, get to, be surrounded by, some of the best training and, best physical therapy and surgeons in the country. Now he has access to that being in the NFL. I guess if it's going to happen, you want it to happen before the season, but at the same time, you kind of want to see what this guy looks like. But going into next year, he will be ready to go. I mean, that should be enough time. Meniscus, he should be able to be cleared shortly after this season ends. I would say he would be full go. But it sucks. Feel bad for the guy just because he looked so good that first game against Tampa. So give you some recap on some scores over the last couple of days here. Thursday, the Patriots just absolutely dominated the Eagles, 35-0. Mac Jones, 13 of 19 and 146 yards. Not bad for the rookie. Joe Flacco got the start as Jalen Hurts, he was having abdominal pain, went to the hospital, got cleared. Non-COVID related illness is what it was classified as. But Flacco got the start, 10 of 17, 83 yards and a pick. J.J. Taylor led the Patriots in rush yards, 93 and a touchdown. And let's see here. Friday night, we had the Chiefs and Cardinals going at it. Chiefs over the Cards, 17-10. And also the Bengals played the Washington football team. And give you some, the big story coming out of the Bengals-Washington game was all of the drops that Jamar Chase had. I think he had about 3. It's not. That's. I mean, I saw stuff that was like, oh, Brandon Allen, wasn't putting the ball where it should be, or you know, Jamar had only practiced with Joe Burrow in training camp. A lot of these balls are catchable. They weren't. Like reaching back for it or over the head grabs or anything like that. Appreciate it, Bob. Still got a pop on there? Am I still echoing? Bobby, appreciate you liking and sharing the video. Better? All right, cool. Sorry about that. That would be really annoying. Anyway, yeah, a lot of the balls, they weren't, these weren't crazy catches or anything like that. They weren't, thank you, Bobby. These weren't like, over the top of the head or anything like that. Jamar Chase just dropped the ball. Did it a few times. And he also dropped some passes today in practice. So I think it's definitely just in his head right now. I think that's the main issue. He's thinking about it too much. He's not really playing. He's kind of, a lot of these guys, when you get to this level, it's a lot of just muscle memory pretty much at this point. Yeah, Bobby, I just mentioned that. Bobby with a comment here. Who's the guy who just got hurt and needs surgery is Joseph Asai. I talked about him last week. Initially, they thought it was a wrist that he had hurt. Well, he did hurt his wrist. Thought there was going to be fractures in his wrist. And I had mentioned last week how you can play through that, especially as a defensive lineman. You can wrap it. You can club it. You're not going to risk much more injury to the wrist, and you don't really need a whole lot of wrist movement in that position. You can use it as a club. At that time, he had also said, hey, my knee is kind of bothering me as well. Well, they did an MRI on his knee. Turns out he needs meniscus surgery. Again, this is third-round pick Joseph Asai out of Texas, who looked absolutely amazing in that first week. He had a sack with Trey Hendrickson that first week against Tampa. And getting some time with the ones. He was going to be in on, passing downs, 3rd and 7+ when we're rushing the quarterback. He would be out there in that defensive package. So a pretty big blow. Pretty big blow to a defense that has been looking pretty good, to be honest with you, over the last couple of games. Again, this is preseason. It's not a full game. These guys are in there for a snapshot, and you're trying to, extract some kind of anecdotal thought on how they're doing. And it's tough. It's tough to do that, but at the same time, this defense looked really solid. They were getting after the quarterback. Making plays when they needed to. Run defense looked good. DJ Reader looked really healthy, really strong. Exactly what we need in that middle. Especially with Geno Atkins being gone. So I think they just signed off waivers the defensive end from that played with Tampa last year. So I don't know a whole lot about him, but I'll post it up on the page a little bit later tonight after the show. But so I mean, so that's the doom and gloom rather from last night into today. Excuse me, Friday night into today. That's kind of some of the news, but there is some good news. Offensive line looked really good. Jonah Williams, I won't say dominated Chase Young, but took him out of the game. Held his own, more than held his own. Won that battle. I'll say won that matchup. Jonah Williams beat Chase Young yesterday, if you could, or Friday night. Sorry, if you can classify it as that. Right. Riley Reef. There was a lot of. Josh, what's up, buddy? Thank you for following. I appreciate it. Riley Reef again, the tackle that the Bengals just signed. Josh, thank you for liking the video, man. Appreciate it. Tackle that the Bengals signed in free agency from Minnesota. There were a lot of pass sets in particular where it was like a shift on the left side of the line, and Riley Reef was left one-on-one with the defensive end out on an island, basically, and no concerns there. He looked really comfortable. I mean, this Bengals offensive line is better, ladies and gentlemen. It's better. It's better than what it was. Now, the bar was really freaking low last year, but it's better now. And so I'm excited to see how this offense can be better. That said, there's still some things that we need to shore up. I would say the interior of the line is they probably don't even know who's starting yet for the interior of the line. But your left tackle and your right tackle are no longer issues. Bobby with the comment here, who has impressed you the most in the preseason? To be honest, it might be Mitchell Trubisky. I know that's I don't think you were expecting to hear that, but we do cover the Bills on this podcast, so I need to show some love for the Bills, for Bills Mafia and that team. Mitch Trubisky had 4 touchdown drives yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Let me pull up the game, and we can kind of go over that now. Nice little segue into the Bills there. Let me pull this up. Yeah, the Bills absolutely dominated the Bears yesterday, 41-15. Here's Trubisky's stat line: 20 of 28, 221 yards and a touchdown. Quick shout out: Andy Dalton had like a 40-yard touchdown pass yesterday. The Bears' leading rusher yesterday, Justin Fields. He had 4 carries for 46 yards. Their quarterback was their leading rusher. Yikes. I want to look at the box score here just to make sure that's not like... Let me see here. Josh, sharing the video. Josh with the follow, the like, and the share. Coming in clutch, buddy. Appreciate it. So yeah, Justin Fields, 4 carries, 46 yards. That doesn't look like they had any other their main guys. I can't remember who the it's not Jesus, I can't even remember the Bears running backs right now. Oh, Tariq Cohen and David Montgomery. They didn't even have a touch yesterday. But anyway, back to Mitch Trubisky. He's going back into Chicago. I think there are a couple guys. It might have been Tariq Cohen or David Montgomery. It's okay. I don't remember either. one of the running backs, I think it was, said like if you boo Mitch Trubisky, you're weird. And I was like, no, you're kind of just a normal fan if you boo the old quarterback coming in. Pops liking the video, thank you, sir, appreciate it. Cheers. Like if you had a quarterback that was on your team for a little while and then he left and it didn't end, you didn't win a Super Bowl, he comes back, you're gonna catch some boos. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's super weird to boo Mitch Trubisky, at least a little bit. But yeah, he said it felt good to go back in there into Chicago and beat them. He definitely wanted to win and play well, and he did. He played well. Like I said, led 4 touchdown drives. He didn't have 4 touchdowns. He led 4 touchdown drives. And at the same time, Trubisky was also saying, there's still a lot of those guys on that team that, I really, care about, and I want them to win too. So give you a little bit on this preseason. I want to give you his stats. So, my original question again was, who has impressed me the most this preseason? And it was Mitch Trubisky was my answer. 20 of 28, 71 completion percentage, 221 yards, averaged 7.9 a pop, a touchdown, and 106.4 QBR. That's really good. I want to get trying to get the last preseason game. Let's see here. Okay, so those are the Lions. That's right. The against the Lions, Trubisky didn't get a whole lot of time. That was mostly for Jake Fromm, and who was this other guy? Davis Webb. Trubisky 1 of 2 against the Lions, but he looked really good against the Bears. So good for him going back to the old club and proving a point. Who would you rather have right now? Would you rather have Trubisky or Dalton? Would you rather have Trubisky? No, Trubisky or Dalton. Because I was going to say Trubisky or Dalton and Fields. But I don't think anybody would take Mitch Trubisky over Justin Fields. I don't think anybody would. Going through some other scores over the weekend. Jets against the Packers. Jets beat the Packers 23-14. Zach Wilson, pretty good outing. Really good outing, actually. 9 of 11 for 128 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 154.7 quarterback rating. What am I drinking tonight, Bobby? It's good of you to ask. We are having Bell's. No, yeah? No, yeah, that totally makes sense. Just a really nice beer. Bell's out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's really good, man. I'm telling you, if you're looking, I don't know if you can. Do you get Bell's Two Hearted down there, Bobby? I think you're in Columbus now. Do you get Bell's beers down there? Good night, bells are ringing. Night, Dad. Thanks for dropping in. You gonna turn into a pumpkin? Yeah, I mean, so the big breweries up here in Michigan are like Founders, Bell's, and Shorts. Atwater's another one. So you have full access to it. Yeah, I would look for this. I can only find it in 6-packs, so I bought 2. Um, so got a job, huh? Not for much longer, hopefully. Hopefully you retire, and then you can just move up here and watch my kids, and I don't have to pay for daycare anymore. That'd be awesome if you could do that, Dad. Thanks. Yeah, I got. Speaking of the girls, I'm their birthday's coming up in a couple of weeks. They'll be 3, which is fucking mind blowing. They're gonna be in school in like 2 years. Absolutely insane. Next year's preschool, yeah, then kindergarten. Wild. Anyway, total dad move when I went out and got their their presents. Anybody that knows me knows that I've my obsession with golf over the last couple of years has taken an all time high. Especially now that I got the girls, I want to get them into it. Because somebody told me, I don't know if this is true, but somebody told me that um, golf scholarships, particularly for girls, go unused for Division 1 schools every year. Like some D1 schools can't field teams because there isn't enough interest. Like basically, if you're a par golfer, you can get a full ride somewhere. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. I haven't done any research in that. But even that little bit of information was enough for me to just be like, all right, well then the girls are going to play golf. Like that's happening. I like to golf. I want them to like to golf. Then I can just be like, all right, mommy, me and the girls are going to the course like every weekend. We can just go golf every weekend. But I found this thing on Amazon. I don't know the quality. I'll let you guys know. I'll do a review, get some shots of the girls. But it's just like a little rig, and it just drops a ball down onto a tee, and they hit it off. It comes with little clubs. They hit it off, and then it drops another ball down to the tee, and they hit it again, and they just keep cranking them. So I got each of them one of them, and they can go left-handed. The clubs can go left-handed as well. So I'm gonna let them decide which ones feels better. Well, I've let them mess around with my putter a little bit, and I think one of them might be left-handed, which would suck because then I have to buy 2 sets of golf clubs for them. They can't share. I need them to. If one of them's gonna be left-handed, I need the both of them to be left-handed. But so excited, total dad birthday gift. Katie just looks at me and is like, "Are you serious? Really, really?" So I'll probably have to get some Barbies too or something. All right, back to football. Yeah, Zach Wilson looked pretty good there. I mean, 9 of 11, 128 yards and 2 touchdowns, 154 quarterback rating. Almost, Bobby, almost as good as Big Ben's QBR. Almost as good. Ben Roethlisberger with 158.3 perfect quarterback rating against our Detroit Lions. The Steelers won 26-20. Let's see here. Big Ben, 8 of 10, 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. Um, looked really good. Looked really good. So that sucks. That sucks. Um, David Blow for the Lions again. Like no quarterback started this week. I mean, Big Ben I don't think played week 1, but got in here the second week, or I think that's actually the third. Um, Bud Dick Ben, gross. No, Big Dick Ben. There you go. Um, shit. Where's it going? Oh yeah, it was the third preseason game for the Steelers because I think they were in the Hall of Fame game, weren't they? I can't remember. So yeah, no Goff. no Swift. Which brings me to the next point. DeAndre Swift. There are some. I'm getting ready for. I have 2 fantasy leagues, and we'll do some fantasy talk. We can do some fantasy talk tonight if you want. But I have 2 leagues. One I've been in. This is the 6th year that we're doing it. It's just your standard half PPR league. I drew the 7th pick today. We do random draft order every year. Some years we like to, do something fun with it. I think last year we, since it was pushed back, we did the Kentucky Derby. As we each got a horse or randomly drew for a horse, and wherever your horse finished, that's where your draft pick was. This year is just random, and I got the 7th pick, and I've been doing some research on running backs. I think especially in a standard PPR league, you need to load with running backs early. Basically, the school of thought there is that even in a full PPR league, again, my league is half PPR. Both my leagues are half PPR. Even in a full PPR league, the disparity between, let's just say, like the 20th ranked running back and then the 20th ranked wide receiver, the gap in points there is huge. Huge. Absolutely massive. Like, you could say, like, the 20th overall running back would probably put up, like, 150 points maybe in a season. And, like, the 20th overall wide receiver is probably putting over 200 a year. It's funny you say that, Bobby. Bobby with a comment. I got Aaron Jones and Joe Mixon in a standard league. Did you have the 7th pick? I'm curious what pick you had in your league. And the reason I say that is because I did 2 mock drafts already today, just kind of getting ready, and I literally that's where I lined up on both. You had the 6th pick, okay, so we're close. That's where I got on both. Aaron Jones came to me at the 7th. I took him. I took him over like Saquon, and I think Derrick Henry was another one that was still there, and I took Aaron Jones over that. And then Mixon, I think he wasn't the highest like Yahoo ranked, because one of my leagues is Yahoo, and then the other one is Sleeper. We're starting one on Sleeper. I'll talk about that league here in a little bit. I'm really excited about it. So anyway, Yahoo on the one had the running backs ranked. I think there were a couple running backs ranked ahead of Joe Mixon, and I took Mixon ahead of them just because I'm really confident in he's going to get a lot of touches this year. He's going to be a big part of the offense. They haven't even really put any workload on him this preseason because I think they plan on going pretty Mixon heavy. So if he's there mid-second round, I think you take him. If you have one of those like 5 to 9 picks and Mixon's there, maybe 9 on the way back might be a little bit too early. You still might be able to get, a premier wide receiver at that point. But he was there. Again, the 7th pick, and he came back. I took him. Bobby, another comment here. There were a few ahead of Mixon, but I'm feeling a big year from here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think Mixon's going to be a large force, large part of the offense to open up the passing game. But back to what I was saying. I'm doing some research on running backs again. Like I said, the disparity between your 20th overall running back and your 20th overall wide receiver, that's pretty big. Those gaps are pretty large. So if you have an opportunity, you need to try and load running backs early. I would even say that your first 2 picks have to be running backs. That's my strategy, at least. Your first 2 picks need to be running backs. And then from there, even your 3rd pick, honestly. Like today I did a mock. I got Mixon, or I got Aaron Jones, Mixon, and then I got Chris Carson. Yeah, in the third round. That's a three-headed monster right there. Uh, Having three running backs that are going to get some solid touches. They're not really splitting time a whole lot with anybody else. They are the bellwether backs. From there, obviously my wide receivers were suffering. But that said, I feel like there's a lot of wide receivers that kind of pop up over the year. Running backs, there's not really going. There might be one or two that kind of like bust onto the scene, and you can take them and or you maybe you took them in a flyer pick at the end of your draft, and they end up panning out for you, or somebody gets hurt and now they're getting more touches. Running backs, generally speaking, if you don't draft them, you're kind of screwed. You have to trade for them. But a lot of this research that I was doing was showing that DeAndre Swift was listed as a top 10 fantasy running back. And I posted on the page earlier this week, and our resident Lions fan, John Thrasher, was commenting on it. And he made a good point that maybe DeAndre Swift is a top 10 fantasy running back this year solely because there's no one else on the Lions that's going to be an offensive producer on that team. Maybe just DeAndre Swift. So, I figured we should look into running back rankings. This is Yahoo, and then we'll get into Sleeper's player rankings here in a little bit. If you've never heard of Sleeper, it's pretty cool. But, Bobby, I'll touch on that comment here in just a second. Okay, so running back rankings. Again, article I was reading was showing that DeAndre Swift is a top 10 running back in fantasy. Yahoo, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They have him as the 15th ranked running back. So who... Let me see here. I want to make sure this is... I want to sort this. Okay, so that is... All right. Number 1, Christian McCaffrey. Dalvin Cook is 2. Kamara, Derrick Henry. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is the 5th ranked fantasy running back. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jonathan Taylor had an amazing college career at Wisconsin. I mean, he had over 1,000 yards last year. Okay, 11 rushing touchdowns. Okay, all right. Maybe I just wasn't keen to how good of a year he actually had. Yeah, he rushed for over 1,100 yards and had 11 touchdowns. That's a really good year. Then they have Aaron Jones, Zeke, Mixon, Austin Eckler, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins. That's a weird one to me. Let me look at his year last year. 805 yards, 9 touchdowns. No receiving touchdowns. I don't know about that. Maybe they're anticipating him getting more of a workload this year. J.K. Dobbins out of Ohio State. I don't see how he's ranked higher than Chris Carson or Nick Chubb. How is Nick Chubb that low? He had over 1,000 yards and 11 rushing touchdowns. He had 12 rushing touchdowns, excuse me. He had over 1,000 yards. Tell me why you would draft J.K. Dobbins over Nick Chubb. Tell me why. Yeah, I agree, Bob. It doesn't make any sense. Yahoo, what are you doing? Go home. You're drunk. I would take DeAndre Swift over J.K. Dobbins. So my fantasy rankings, I mean, like Chubb to me is like a top, almost a top 5 running back, and at least in fantasy. In fantasy football, I would almost, I would do CMC number 1, Dalvin Cook number 2, Kamara. It's really hard for me not to put Derrick Henry. It's really hard for me not to put Derrick Henry in the top 5 because of what he's done. I just have a feeling that he's not going to continue to do that. I'm going to go grab another beer. What I want you guys to do, give me your top 10 fantasy running backs. Who are the top 10 running backs in fantasy football? Again, the reason we're talking about this, a lot of articles I've been reading have been saying DeAndre Swift is the number or is a top 10 fantasy running back. Yahoo does not have him ranked as such. Before I go, I will check Sleeper as well. Let's see here. So Sleeper has him again. Yahoo had him as a 15th ranked running back. Sleeper has him as the 18th ranked running back. Mm-hmm. So I will again give me your top 5, whatever your top 10. Give me a list. I'm gonna grab a beer and then I will give you mine. Okay. Sorry for bumping the mic. Had to grab some chocolate too. Anybody else like me, like at night, I have to eat like sweets. Huge sweet tooth. Again tonight, bells. No, yeah, no, yeah. It's good. No, yeah, no, yeah, for sure. All right. So my top. Let's give you my rankings going into this year. So I think I'm good with the top 3 being Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. Um, from there, I'd probably go. I would probably go Zeke at 4, followed by Derrick Henry at 5. I'd go Aaron Jones at 6, Jonathan Taylor at 7, Nick Chubb at 8, Saquon at 9, And then I'd probably put Mixon at 10. Don't ask me to repeat that. So anyway, I had mentioned that I'm we're utilizing. I started a second league this year. This I had mentioned that I'm in 2 leagues. One I've been doing for 6 years. This next one I've been doing. It's the first year that we're doing it. Um, it's going to be all guys local here in the greater Detroit area. And we are going to be doing a dynasty league. Before I get into that, Bobby with his top 10, McCaffrey, Cook, Kamara. Okay, so we're the same there. Aaron Jones at 4, Mixon, Chubb. Oh, you're taking a flyer on Najee, you homer, at 7. But really, you mean Derrick Henry. 8, Saquon. So you don't have Zeke in your top 10? If you do, you have him at 10? That's interesting. I'm pretty high on Zeke this year. Could be wrong. Anyway, so yeah, we're starting a dynasty fantasy football league. If you don't know what a dynasty league is, it's a pretty cool concept. So this first year, we're gonna draft 19 players. Quarterback. Your starting lineup will consist of a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex, a tight end, a kicker, and a defense. And then you have 10 bench players. And in a normal league, you draft, play your season, and then you're done, right? Those guys are gone. Next year, you redraft a whole new team. Well, after this first year, starting for the second year, our draft will only consist of like 3 or 4 rounds, and we'll decide that before we start this season what the subsequent drafts will look like. But we'll only have 3 or 4 rounds because we will keep everyone. All of the players will be kept. You'll only have an opportunity to draft like 3 guys, and after you draft, you decide which 3 people you're going to cut from your roster. Now, you could cut somebody you just drafted. Maybe they didn't stack up. Maybe the draft didn't work out like you wanted it to, and you wanted to cut them. You can cut somebody that was on your team last year. Or, let's say you had Aaron Rodgers on your team and he retires. Cut Aaron Rodgers, right? You know that going into the draft, where your position needs are, and you build a team. I'm excited. I'm really excited to start it again. It's a 12-team league, half PPR. We're going to do a live draft next Friday night. It'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, it should be a good time. The other thing that's different with this league is that our waiver process is different. We're doing a blind auction waiver wire, where at the beginning of the season, every team gets $300. $300. It's not real money. It's 300 credits, rubles, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, call it whatever you want. 300 fantasy dollars. And that's your budget for the year on waiver wire acquisitions. So if you want somebody, and let's say I wager $30, a tenth of my budget, on a player. Say I wager $30, and Bobby, let's say you are the next lowest, and you wager $11. Now I don't pay 12. I end up paying the 30 because I don't know what you bid. So the whole process is a non or blind. You just have to bid what you want for a player, and if you get them, you get them. So it'll be interesting. I've never done that before. I'm excited to play some new styles of fantasy football, as well as the traditional. What are some team names that you guys are seeing going around as the season? I mean, we're so close to the start of the season, guys. Like tomorrow is, let's see, where are we at here? The 23rd. So we have 8 days left of August, and then the season starts on like the 9th, September 9th. We're like 2.5 weeks out from football. Josh with his top 10 here for fantasy running back. CMC Saquon at 2. Well, I like that. I would naturally agree had he not been injured. I hope you're right because I like Saquon Barkley. Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Zeke, Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon. You're putting Najee fucking Harris over Joe Mixon. You boys are some homers. These layman boys are some homers. The worst one I've seen is Bill Cosby's sleep apnea clinic. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's not even like remotely related to football. That's one of mine is Houday and the Blowfish. And then the other one is Jamar Burrow Smokes. Jamar Burrow Smokes. Those are my two teams. See if I can give you some of the ones from my league, if there's any good ones. They all suck. Uh, 1,000 Miles, Browns fan. Juju on D's Lutz. And Kareem down my throat. That was one that our rule is that last place gets their team named by the winner, and that was what he got. Oh my god. So anyway, yeah, we decided to use. Has anyone Bob Kraft's rub and tug? Deshaun's Bumble. Oh my god. You guys are savage right now. Oh, that's too funny. So yeah, we're using Sleeper for this other one. I if anyone's ever used it before, let me know how they like it. I'm still getting used to the interface. Getting used to kind of how to navigate. I've been using Yahoo for like 6 or 7 years now, so it'll be interesting to see. It's kind of nice though because there's a chat feature that's a lot more fluid than the Yahoo one. We basically just have a group chat, and I don't have to deal with fucking Android phones and their green bubbles in my group chats anymore. It's amazing how quick I've turned from being just like, I don't need an iPhone, just like Android peasants with your green bubbles. It's amazing how fast I've turned. Anyway, so we'll let you know how that is. Let's see. Let's probably got a couple more games that we need to touch on before we call it a night. Next up is Titans. Titans game. They absolutely dominated the Bucs, 34-3 again. Tannehill didn't play. Brady didn't play. Matt Barkley though looked pretty good. 12 of 16, 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kyle Trask I don't know if you watch college football. He's University of Florida. Kyle Trask, 13 of 26, 131 yards and 2 interceptions. Not great, Bob. But Titans did beat that ass, and it's actually the second time this preseason. Again, it's preseason, right? So calm down. But back-to-back games, their defense is looking good. I think total yards is like 207 yards for the Bucks. I think last week they held the Falcons to like 130 yards, I think it was. We talked about it. Averaging 130, 200. Averaging like $150 a game, $160 a game, right? If you can do that on Sundays, you're going to win a lot of football games, right? You're going to win a lot of football games. You're going to make things a lot easier on your offense. If you can hold your opponent to 150 overall yards of offense, that's really good. Again, Brady didn't play. The Falcons suck. So grains of salt, right? Got to take it with this preseason. But that's what you want to see so far, right? If you're a Titans fan, that's what you want to see, is the defense responding and not sucking like they have sucked for the last couple of years. Let's see any notables on the Titans to... It's on the defensive side. 3 sacks. I think they had 5 sacks last week against the Falcons. Now they had 3 this week. Still good. Getting to the quarterback. Leader of the defense was Elijah Molden out of Washington. He had 8 tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a hit on the quarterback as well. I wonder if that sack is also just registered as a hit on the quarterback. So yeah, pretty solid overall. If you're a Titans fan, you're liking to see the defense, respond there. Colts, basically it's just a battle. The Colts had the Vikings this week. Excuse me. What you're trying to see right now is who's going to be your starter. And basically the word is that the offense needs more work right now out of Indianapolis. So it's Jacob Eason versus Sam Ellinger. Did he go to Washington? Yeah, Jacob Eason out of Washington. Okay, cool. I'm not crazy. And Sam Ellinger out of Texas. Those are the two competing for that second string job, which will be the starter until Carson Wentz is back playing for the Colts. So it's an interesting matchup to watch right now. Eason, 16 of 27, 132 yards with a 71.8 rating. Sam Ellinger, 8 of 13, 70 yards, and 2 interceptions. Much less inspiring performance by Sam Ellinger. And let's just flash back as we're looking at this, battle, if you will, between Ellinger and Eason. Go back 1 week against Carolina when the Colts beat the Panthers 21-18. Jacob Eason, 15 of 21, 183 yards, no picks, no touchdowns, 97.9 QBR. Sam Ellinger, 10 of 15, 155 yards, 1 interception. So Jacob Eason has thrown no interceptions this preseason. Sam Ellinger has thrown 3 in 2 games. Looks like it's going to be Jacob Eason. Bobby with a comment, does Carson Wentz play another snap or should he retire? God, that would suck. That would suck for the Colts, man. For Colts fans. I mean, don't get me wrong. You went like 15 years of having arguably like one of the best quarterbacks of all time. And then he was, followed up by one of the best quarterback prospects of all time in Andrew Luck. So maybe this is just the world evening itself out here. But if that happened, that would suck. That would really suck. What's the latest on Wentz? I'm curious. Let's see what I can find for you guys. Oh, so here we go. 5 hours ago, QB Carson Wentz will return to practice tomorrow for the Colts. He will be participating. Indianapolis Colts tweeted out, Carson Wentz, Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly will return to practice on Monday. So, but I think your question, Bobby, is should he? Should he play another one? The guy gets hurt constantly. If I was him, yeah, I'd play. What's his net worth? Let's look at his salary and endorsement. So he has an estimated net worth of $45 million. I want to see his endorsements. I want to see. Says he makes $32 million a year. Come on. I mean, would you? If they're like, I'm going to pay you $20 million. Let's just make it smaller. $10 million. I'm going to pay you $10 million, and you might have like chronic knee pain for the rest of your life. I'd probably do it. I would probably do it, man. It's not like he's had like a lot of head injuries. You know what I mean? Is he going to be able to pick up his grandkids easily? Probably not. Something to think about. But his grandkids are going to go to school for free. Yeah, you can get a new knee. Yeah. You can get a new knee. I would play for that, says Josh. Yeah, I'd pay for a lot less. If we're being honest here. You need a body, NFL? Hit me up. Got you. I'll take that league, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd totally understand the mindset of putting your body through hell, because if you manage your finances appropriately, you know, have what's the saying, like, have a champagne budget but a taste for Bud Light. Meaning you have the money to buy nice stuff, but you enjoy your Walmart brands and all that good stuff. I mean, some of these guys, like for instance, Rob Gronkowski has yet to spend a dime of any of his salary. He has only lived on endorsements since he's been in the league. That's smart. That's really smart. Because when he gets out of the league, he's going to have a stockpile of cash. He can live his life. He's probably only like a couple years away from actually retiring. I don't see him playing with anyone other than Brady. Do you? So yeah, I'd do it if I was Carson Wentz. Get your ass back out there. And he wants to. He's a competitor, right? He worked his whole life for this. Quick other updates on some scores. Raiders beat the Rams 17-6. Broncos over the Seahawks 30-3. And tomorrow night, wrapping up week 2 of preseason on Monday Night Football. Dun, 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 dun. Jaguars versus the Saints. Trevor Lawrence, Jameis Winston. I'll watch. I'll probably watch that. 8 o'clock. Girl, I'll probably miss the first 20 minutes of it, but Maybe I'll pop on, do another live stream or something during the game or something. I don't know. Week 1, I'll be in Cincinnati, so I won't be able to do a show that night, during Sunday Night Football, which is the plan this year. Sunday Night Football, turn on the game, turn on Line to Gain. We'll watch it together. We'll talk during the game. We'll talk fantasy. We'll talk recap the week or, the games that have already happened. Look ahead into Monday Night Football. So it should be a lot of fun as the season's coming up. But I will be at the game in Cincinnati. Do some live posts from tailgating and hopefully from inside the stadium. So that night, I think what we'll do is to kick the season off, we'll do a Thursday night Line to Gain. I think that is September 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look. And week 1, September 9th, Cowboys, Buccaneers. So defending Super Bowl champs get Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. I'm sure they'll do a banner unfurl, something like that. The money seems to be on Tampa right now. Doesn't look like we have a spread just yet. Oh, yeah, we do 7.5. Tampa's favored by 7.5. Any degenerates out there, I'll also be talking gambling this year. So, yay. I pretty much exclusively bet on football. I don't really bet on baseball. Sorry, Pete. I don't really bet on hockey because that's fucking impossible. Basketball, yeah, I can get into some NBA. I can typically get the overs and on some of the low ball totals that they throw out there, but more often than not, college football, a little bit, but mostly NFL. Every Sunday, I'm throwing money down, and you guys are gonna keep me honest this year. Everyone only talks about their wins on gambling, but we're gonna talk about. We're going to share the losses and how some of my stupid fucking bets. Just kind of peeking ahead now that we're talking about it and looking at week 1. So Thursday, September 9th, we'll be doing a special Thursday edition of Line to Gain during the Cowboys-Bucks game, which is on NBC, by the way, Thursday Night Football. Looking ahead at some notable spreads here. And the thing about football, especially, the thing about the NFL, you're not getting any spreads that are like more than 9 points, typically. Now, if it's like Jets, Bucks, or like Lions, Buccaneers, or something like that, you might have a larger spread. But typically, spreads are pretty narrow in the NFL. So, let's see. Steelers, Bobby. Steelers, Bills, week 1. Buffalo's favored by 7. Buffalo's favored by 7 over the Steelers in Buffalo. Vikings, Bengals, Minnesota by 3.5 in Cincinnati. That makes sense. San Fran, Detroit. San Fran is favored by 7.5 in Detroit. The Titans are favored by 3 against the Cardinals in Nashville. Colts are underdogs to the Seahawks by 2.5 points at home. I think that's low. I kind of want to lay money on the Seahawks, especially if they're not going to have Wentz. 2.5 points, a field goal. That's all I have to win by is a field goal. That's a $50 bet right there on the Seahawks. I'm just saying. Any other ones that we want to note here? Oh, any other teams that we care about? Not really. Ooh, dumpster fire of a game on Fox, America's Game of the Week. No, I'm just kidding. That'll be Saints-Packers for sure. But their 4:25 game on Fox, Broncos-Giants. Ugh. Broncos favored by 1.5. Here's a good rematch of the playoffs of the AFC semifinals, divisional round playoff game. Browns-Chiefs. Chiefs favored by a touchdown at 6. Interested to see where the money goes, how this affects those lines, and we'll be talking about it more. But Like I said, we'll be doing a Thursday edition of Line to Gain on September 9th. Let's see, what do we got going on next week? I will be back next week. We'll have a Sunday show, and that'll be a quick turnaround for Thursday. So we'll do a Sunday. We'll do a show next week on the 29th. I may or may not do one on the 5th because it is Labor Day weekend. Go barbecue. Spend time with your family. I love you, but you don't need to be here for that. And then we'll be having, and then Thursday night football, starting the season on the 9th. I'm excited. It's right around the corner. Per usual, Venmo and PayPal are in the description. We're still raising money for Wounded Warrior Project. Go ahead and donate. You shoot it over. We have a fundraising goal of 400. Once we hit that, we will make the donation. 50% of all donations go directly to Wounded Warrior Project. Other 50% goes to help out the show. Looking to get some different lighting in here. Like, maybe get some nice features. Maybe a new camera. Who knows? But anyway, I think that's it for tonight. I got to turn it in. Got to get back to work in the morning. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Josh, Bobby, good chatting with you. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for liking the video. And we'll see you next week, guys. All right. Everybody have a good one.